guys, how are you doing? So, if you're here for some crazy stories that happened today, well, you're at the right spot, because we got some wild stuff. Because we got a story about Syria sentencing its own former president to death. We have a story about Trump being afraid of Iran. Yeah, Trump was afraid of Iran, so he hid from his plane and he took a different plane. It's a whole mess, so that's another story that's kind of crazy. Also got France banning something that we all are really glad that it's banned. And we got America's own Hunger Games, sorry, the Patriot games. And if you're watching the video early, like a few hours from when it was posted, you'd be really glad because it's a surprise. I'll tell you at the video when we reach that story. Anyway, for the first story, let's start with how Syria has sentenced its former president to death. So you guys see this guy? His name is Bashar al-Assad. What's up with him? Well, he was Syria's president for almost 24 years, and between 2011 and 2024, 500,000 people died because of what he did. So what happened? Well, in Syria since 2011 till 2024, there was a civil war, and I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but it was bad. Like, Bashar al-Assad's government was bad because they were killing civilians, torturing prisoners, making people disappear, arresting people randomly. Anyone who opposed the government got arrested. They bombed civilian areas, attacked hospitals, and they used chemical weapons. So all in all, horrible government. And he wasn't alone, because he's important in the story, right? Bashar al-Assad is important, but also his brother, Maher al-Assad, who was actually a military general who commanded Syria's elite 4th Armored Division, and they did a lot of horrible stuff as well, like this division did a lot. Plus, his cousin as well. Because his cousin, whose name is Atif Najib, also was a former police security force or security chief, was torturing prisoners as well. So all in all, the government was bad, okay? But long story short, there were rebel forces that were led by Syria's current president, Ahmed al-Shara. They defeated Bashar al-Assad's forces, and Bashar al-Assad had to flee to Russia. So him and his brother escaped. They went to Russia, okay? They're gone. Remember, there was a cousin that I told you about? By the way, all those characters are important. That cousin got arrested because he was still in Syria, okay? So the cousin is in Syria, the two brothers are out. Well, today there was some huge news that came from Syria because a court in Syria sentenced Bashar al-Assad, his brother, and his cousin to death. Why? Well, the court convicted him of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Yeah, like what he did was not simple, guys. Anyway, so now, thing is, as I told you, he's in Russia, okay? So Russia's not gonna send him back to Syria. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Russia and Bashar al-Assad's relationship has been very, very good. So the probability of them sending Bashar al-Assad back to Syria so that he would be executed is very, very low. But you know what? Nothing is impossible, but it is low. So Bashar al-Assad, his brother, are probably safe in Russia. The cousin, on the other hand, like Atif Najib, yeah, that guy's in prison. He's getting the sentence on him, and apparently his crimes were intentionally killing children under 15 and torturing people to death. Honestly, some pretty horrible people, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah. Anyway, so the cousin is gonna be punished. He's gonna be sentenced to death. Two brothers, like Syria's former president, well, they're in Russia. We don't know what's gonna happen to them. We don't know yet if Russia's gonna send them back to Syria. So far, we don't know. Like, it's my guess is that he probably won't be sent back to Syria, but that's only a guess. You know what, guys? You tell me if you think he's gonna be sent to Syria. I don't know. And obviously this was huge, but now we're going to the next story, which is Trump's secret flight. Yep, secret flight. You heard that right. Yeah, it's crazy, guys. So what happened? Well, last month, if you don't know, there was a NATO summit, which by the way, I was there. I actually went and saw some world leaders. That was pretty cool. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Yeah, so I saw all the world leaders. Okay, it's not about me. Anyway, so the NATO summit happened, okay? In that NATO summit, there were a lot of presidents, a lot of people. They were talking about like the military spending and all that stuff, okay? Anyway, Trump went to that summit and he took his plane. He took his normal Air Force plane. But thing is, Trump was afraid of Iran. Yeah, there were some reports that Trump was gonna get attacked by Iran, or like he was afraid. There were some reports that Iran is planning to assassinate Trump, okay? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was at the press conference like last month when he was talking about it. And he did kind of mention that he wasn't going to be taking the plane. Right, let me tell you what exactly he said. He said, I'm going to be taking another plane so that I would show my Air Force to the brave soldiers. Yeah, that's what he said. But in reality, it wasn't so that he would show his Air Force. In reality, he was afraid of getting assassinated by Iran. Okay? So today, the Wall Street Journal released a huge report showing that he actually went inside of his Air Force plane, okay, normal, right? But then there was a little cargo ship that came behind the plane. I don't know if you guys see it, okay? This little cargo ship apparently took Trump, and Trump escaped in it, went to another plane, okay? That other plane was a Boeing, I don't know what kind of plane, but it was another plane, okay, that was usually taken by the vice president. The vice president is the one who takes that plane. And on the Air Force One, which is his original plane, there were some journalists, some government officials. There were people. It's not like it was empty. No, there were people. And then Trump took another plane and he left. But then when he landed, that's the crazy part, he landed in the Air Force One. Well, how? Right? Like, he didn't take the Air Force One, right? Like, I told you that he took the cargo car and went to another plane. Well, apparently, the two planes met when it was safe, and Trump left that one plane that's not his or not the original presidential plane, and he went to the Air Force One so that he would not make a show, and so that people wouldn't be like, why didn't he take the Air Force One? Guys, this is crazy. This is wild. First of all, it shows that the American president was afraid of Iran, which doesn't really seem good for America, right? Like, maybe that's why they didn't say that or they didn't show it. Two, and that's the crazy part for me, the Air Force One, which was supposed to be attacked, or that had rumors that it's going to be attacked, still had people, still had journalists and some government officials. There were people there. Like, what? Why did you let them on the plane if you knew that this plane was going to get attacked? I don't know. Anyway, this is wild, guys. And it's not like those are all rumors. No, because Trump actually admitted that he switched planes after the NATO summit. He said that. It's not a lie. It's not just rumors. No, it's official. He switched planes. And to be honest, I don't know what that shows. Like, first of all, the Air Force One became a decoy. Americans didn't know. Obviously, it's going to be a secret plan because, well, Iran was not supposed to know. And if people knew, Iran would know, and it would ruin the whole secret part. But still, like, if you think about it, from his trip from the NATO summit in Turkey to Britain, because that was his next destination, he didn't take his original plane, but then he switched planes. Anyway, for me, that story blew my mind. Like, I knew that he was going to take a different plane back last month. I knew that because I was at the summit. Again, I was there. But anyway, I knew. But I didn't know that he was going to be so sneaky with it, to be honest. Yeah, this is this is wild. Now for the next story, and it's about France banning telemarketing calls. Yeah. You guys know the calls that we all hate. You know how we're sitting normally at home and then you get a call that you didn't ask for. You answer the call and it's some random person telling you that they're selling anything. They're selling like a new electricity panel or new insurance. Yeah, I get those calls a lot. Mind you, a lot of them are scams. I get a lot of random scam calls. That also sucks. But I get a lot of calls like from insurance companies, electricity companies, internet service companies, home improvement, all those stuff, right? We hate them. We all hate them. We don't want to be sitting at home and just getting a call after call after call. It's annoying. So France knew that this is annoying. France knew that this was a thing. And back then, they did a survey and they realized that 97% of people were annoyed by telemarketing calls. Understandable, right? I just told you I hate it. People hate it. So 97% of people hate it, okay? And 38% of the people in France are getting more than one call a day. So imagine you're sitting at home, you're getting 3, 4 calls. It's annoying. It's really annoying. And yes, you might tell me, okay, Omar, I will just not pick up, or maybe I would just tell them I'm not interested. Like anything. True. Easier said than done. Like some people feel bad about it. Like I personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. I pick up the call. I ask them what are they selling, and to be honest, I feel bad. Like just telling them no and ending the call. To be honest with you. So maybe they're selling something that I'm interested in. So I actually listen. And it's a waste of time because most of the time I'm not interested. Anyway, so Like, yeah, it is annoying. It's kind of personal in this one, but it is annoying. So 38% of people said that they're getting more than one call a day. But thing is, guys, France had a system. They had a system that called Blocktel. And Blocktel, think about it as a list of numbers, okay? In that list of numbers, if your number is one of them, then the companies should not call you, right? Simple, nice, easy, but no, because the companies actually called. Even though your number was on the list, some companies called those numbers that were supposed to not get any calls. So France was like, okay, that's it. That system didn't work. People hate telemarketing calls. We're done. We're gonna ban telemarketing calls for good in France. So if anyone wants to get a telemarketing call, call the company and tell the company, I want you to call me. Otherwise, no calls allowed at all. And honestly, I love it. I love that law. Yeah, seriously. Wait, moving to the next story, and the next story is crazy because it's about the Patriot games. So basically, Trump wanted to do something called the Patriot games for teenagers. So 50 males, 50 females from each state aged between 14 and 17 were competing in a competition. And you might think about it as like the American Olympics, but it's a little different. So first of all, you know in the Olympics, how they pick the best athlete in every sport? Well, the Patriot Games were different because in the Patriot Games, you send a video and the organizers check your video, and if you said some good stuff in the video, I guess they pick you. So it's not about how you are in the sport itself. Second thing that people notice, remember how I told you it's 50 people or like 100 people, a male and a female from every state? Well, not really every state, because apparently there was a teenager from Texas representing Puerto Rico and a teenager from California representing Massachusetts. So this is weird too. Also, you know the normal sports that you play at the Olympics, like sprinting, swimming, basketball, soccer, all those sports? Well, the Patriot Games were different because it had dodgeball, kickball, tug of war. So some interesting sports were played there too. Even had a military-inspired boot camp, which is interesting. But you might ask me, why would the teenagers even do those Patriot Games? Well, two reasons. First of all, to be picked by universities, right? So that the universities would pick them, give them scholarships so that they would join their university teams. Makes sense. The second reason is that the prize of the winner is $125,000. So $125,000 to the male, $125,000 to the female. It's a good prize. But again, people are comparing it to the Hunger Games. Obviously, there's no killing, but they're saying that this event was a MAGA event because a lot of people watching had the MAGA hats, were MAGA basically, and it had teenagers. So people were like, yep, he's just making something that's close to the Hunger Games. And to be honest with you guys, there is a tiny bit of a similarity. A tiny bit. Just a little small, okay? Anyway, I haven't watched the Patriot Games, but apparently they're also going to be making a 1-hour show about this whole Patriot Games. So that's interesting. But anyway, a lot of people online have been hating on it, but some people also like it. It's a whole mess. It's really a mess. So I kind of want to know your opinion about it. The last story of today, guys, if you're watching the video early, it's about the meteor showers that are happening tonight. So right now, if you're watching the video, it should be dark in some countries, should not in other countries. Anyway, depending on where you are, there should be meteor showers in a solar eclipse. So in those countries, there's going to be a total eclipse, super dark. And in some other countries, you're going to see a meteor shower that is very rare. It doesn't really happen often. So guys, go out, go enjoy the scene, and just go, first of all, go to an area that doesn't have a lot of sunlight, like no light pollution. That's just a little advice. But honestly, just enjoy it. It's not something that happens very often. It happens once every few hundred years, or basically that's what the report is saying, but I'm going to be very honest with you. Reports like these keep saying, oh, this is a very rare event, and then the next year we get another event that's a very rare event. We've been seeing that for years and years now. I'm going to be honest with you. But you know what? Go see the eclipse, wear sunglasses because that's important, and enjoy your time. And I love you all because this is all for the video. And again, if there are any stories that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time.